Well, hey gang, coming at you from Lake Havasu, Arizona, where the family and I have been hanging out for the last week. We've been having a good time. And today we're gonna talk about a knife that I picked up for some reason thinking that I was gonna fall in love with it, and I don't know, I just haven't really connected with it. And it's the Boker VOX designed F3.5. We're gonna take a look at today. It has some cool properties, but the more I use it, just the less I wanna carry it. And so I'm gonna break it down with you guys on what the features are that maybe you might be interested in, what originally made me gravitate to it, and what are some of the aspects that just make me go, I'll go with something else today when I wanna throw a pocket knife in my pocket and head out the RV door for life. So let's go ahead and hop on over here to the table and start breaking it down. All right, guys, so here we go. And I'm gonna do my best with the background noise. We got boats and ATVs and stuff like that. So if there's some weird cuts or just some background noise, we're gonna do my best here and see how it all turns out. But honestly, I actually filmed the entire video on this. And I was kind of like, middle of the road. I was like, yeah, it's a good knife. There's some aspects that aren't great, and all that. And I filmed the entire video, uploaded it, was ready for it to go live. And I said, the more I used it, I was just like, the less and less I'm wanting to carry this, and I kind of need to redo this video. So I have come back to basically reshoot this video and talk about this F3.5. Now, Vox Knives and Jasper Vox, I love his designs overall. They really connect with me. I've never gone full into the Italian made with like giant mouse, and I can't remember who the other, I think maybe Lion Steel has one or two with him. I can't remember. Anyway, I want to get some of those eventually. They're just really expensive. I usually done the overseas Chinese made for the most part, and this is made in China with D2 steel, and we'll talk all about that here in a minute. Designs, and so I really liked his designs, and when I saw this on paper and over on Blade HQ is where I picked it up at 80 bucks, I was like, yeah, let's do it. Let's step it up a little bit. Big beefy knife. I haven't done one of those in a while. Let's do it. And there's just some aspects that I'm just like, the less and less, or the more and more I use it, the less and less I want to carry it. And so I'll give you some size perspective. The Wrap Model 1 here in D2 steel that we'll come back to when we talk competitive options in a little bit. Similar in size and weight, 5.4 ounces. This is like 5.2. Frame lock, liner lock, so that's something to kind of consider there. Both have full flats. But right out of the gate, the thing that probably, the styling of the blade is really cool. And I love the cutout for the thumb hole, the little swedge that we have. It's very thick at 0.16, but with the full flat grind, it does a decent job of cutting, but it's by no means gonna be like the best slicer in your collection. As you can see, I've done a lot of food prep with it, and it did fine, but it wasn't like, whoa, this is wicked, like a wicked slicer. If they had gone saber, it would have been kind of ridiculous and not really worth, using. But it's going to have a 3.3 overall blade length, and then like 3.1 cutting edge, a ricasso that's for sharpening. You can't use it as a choil right there. 90-degree spine, so you could use it as a woods knife, throw some sparks if you want to with that. But it's that snub nose tip. It's so snub nose, and the blade in the belly comes up so much, so you get awesome slicing out of that belly, but not really good piercing. It was kind of goofy to I almost had to go to a weird angle to do any type of piercing, of material and going through packaging. So that is a big kind of downer to me. If they just dropped the tip ever so slightly, that would have probably helped and made me want to use it more, because I almost have to do like almost like a 45, excuse me, not a 45, like a 90-degree angle to kind of pierce certain packaging and things like that, just because of how upswept the tip is on that. Now the D2 steel, nothing to write home about. Gets the job done. It's definitely an upgrade over, say, AUS-8 or HCR, but much more premium steels out there. At $80, it's kind of pushing the envelope there at this point in time, even for overseas produced. So decent, gonna get the job done, hold its edge for a decent amount of time in that regard. So on to deployment here. We do have this real nice cutout. I like that a lot. It's very easy to engage with my thumb. So that was a really nice aspect. It's running on washers. I'm not quite sure what type of washers it's running on. I don't see Teflon in there. It's pretty smooth, so I'm gonna say probably bronze, but I can't really see them. I think they're recessed in kind of into that. Somebody can put that in there if you've taken this guy apart. Huge, robust stop pin back there, so that's a good thing. really whips open easily though. And then the disengagement of the frame lock is very easy as well. I can easily grab it right there, remove it, and then it falls right back into place. So that's really good, no issues there. The lockup is actually the more, let's see, I'm feeling a little bit up and down and a little bit side to side. So I'm gonna say a little up and down and side to side, not as great as I originally had thought. So that's something, hey, we're discovering on frame. Good thing I shot this twice, right guys? Sometimes you just, the more you use something, the more you discover. And that's why I do these type of videos where I don't just get it delivered to the house, or in this case now the RV, and start, you know, like in 2 minutes crank out a video. Like I try to use this thing as long as possible. I try to, you know, carry the gear that we're using and reviewing and filming for you guys regularly so we can discover things like this. So I'm gonna say I'm getting a slight rock up and down and slight rock side to side. Not terrible, but it is there. So that's not great. And we are getting about, I don't know, 30% engagement on the back there with that frame lock. Again, easy to disengage, so I like that. But no over travel, stop, or anything like that. You do have a detent ball. The detent is good there. So again, nothing to write home about, but nothing, you know, terrible, I guess, in the overall designing on that front. Now that will lead us into the pocket clip, and that is something that I do like, is that the bronze just seemed to connect with me when I was looking at it, and it still does. The tan micarta with that bronze accents, really cool. Now this pocket clip is nice. It's a loop over, deep ride, recessed screws. More companies need to do that. I really like those recessed screws in there. Just means it doesn't get hung up on your pocket, you know, and cause more wear and tear on your pocket. It's nice and smooth right in there. It's nice and flush. Just enough of a flare, good tension point. It's not gonna thrash your pocket. So those points are all good. It is tip up right-handed only. So lefties, you're out of luck. Sorry about that. So good there, no issues. You could run a lanyard kind of around it, but there is no dedicated lanyard hole, so keep that in consideration. The tip is recessed in and it is going dead center. So I mean, the fit and finish on that aspect is good. And the fit and finish overall on this is a good, you know, level. There's not anything in the fit and finish I'm like, that's not really good in that regard. Then as we open this up for ergonomics, you can see there, it's a big full knife, and that's partly why I wanted to do that, is that it's got a real good cut in right there. I mean, I'm really locked into place, no jimping, but really nice and flush right there. And feels good. There's no hot spot or like point of contact that I'm like, ooh, that doesn't feel good. And because of the wider handle, that's going to just kind of fill out the hand well. The micarta gives you a good warm texture on one side, and then the stainless steel on the other. You know, so you've got a really good grip on the tool, even with my, as you guys know, large size hands. The blocky jimping doesn't get in the way or cause any problems, but you can just see that there. Real good in the pivots on either side with, again, with that bronze accent. It's really nice. And you close that bad boy up and you're good to go. And again, coming in about 5.4 ounces overall. So that's the knife. I don't know, there's just something about it that I'm just like, it's just big, it's thick, it's heavy, it doesn't cut great, it doesn't pierce well for packaging. You know, cutting some cardboard, I guess, you know, and some food. But even then, the 3.1, you can't really span a lot of good food there. And then that pricing is also something that the more I thought about it, you know, 80 bucks, you know, you can get a lot, even in the D2, the D2 range. Again, coming back in with the Rat Model 1, made in Taiwan. And you can get AUS 8 for like under 30, I think, and then you can get the D2 version that you can get, I think, for about 50. So obviously not a frame lock, but good liner lock, good bronze bushings there. You know, 4-way directional pocket clip, so lefties, you're going to be able to rock this all day, as you know. The blade is going to be thinner, longer, so you're going to get a lot better slicing out of it overall for 30 bucks less. And then at that same price point, about $80, this one came to mind, the SOGTAC XR with Cryo D2, and I can definitely tell that there's SOG knows what they're doing with their heat treats and cryo treats. This Cryo D2 is definitely going to hold its edge a little bit longer than the Boker one will, and the Ontario. Very high saber grind, very slicey blade, really cool, and that's going to have their XR lock as well as a flipper. So I mean, that's a way cooler design. Boom, flips open, runs on ball bearings, very, very fast, thumb stud deployment as well. heavy G10. It's a little bit lighter, I think coming in at like 4.8, and fully ambidextrous right or left for about the $80 price point. It is made in China. So that is something to just kind of consider if you're looking at like D2 steel and you're looking at this style. Outside of just the looks, like it does look and connect well with me, and that's why Vox's designs always do connect with me. But when it comes to actual performance, the F3.5, that's what I would give it, like a 3.5 out of 5. You know, it's just kind of like, yeah, it's there. I mean, it's all right, I guess. But there's nothing that makes me go, ooh, I'm gonna pick that up today and throw it in my pocket. Outside of that, it just kind of looks cool. Performance is mediocre on every level. So that's my take, guys, on the F3.5. But I want to hear from you. What do you guys think? Do you guys love it? Do you think that because I know there are other versions out there. Should I have looked at like another version of it? Or are you right there with me and on track, and that's better to go with some of the other options I ran in for you guys today? I always appreciate the comments and look forward to the comment section, and check out the other video popping up. I invite you to subscribe if you're not yet a subscriber. Throwing up content like this every single week. And until next time, always remember, stay equipped, stay prepared. We'll see you out there.